much you eat. You're just using that glucose instead of letting it sit in your bloodstream. This doesn't have to be intense exercise. A 15-minute walk after dinner can make a real difference. Some people do a few minutes of light movement after each meal. Stretching, walking around the house, even just standing instead of sitting. It all helps. Your muscles are like a glucose sink. The more you use them, the more glucose they pull out of your blood and the lower your blood sugar stays. I talked to a woman named Margaret in Texas who's 74 years old. She has arthritis in her knees, so she can't run or do high-impact exercise. But she started taking a 10-minute walk after each meal, just around her neighborhood. Nothing intense. Within a month, her average blood sugar had dropped by about 20 points. Her doctor was surprised. She hadn't changed her diet. She hadn't lost weight. She'd just added a little movement after meals. That's all it took. Here's something else that's often forgotten: sleep. Your blood sugar is actually controlled partly by your hormones, and your hormones are controlled partly by your sleep. When you don't sleep well, your body becomes more insulin resistant. It's that simple. If you're only sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night, your blood sugar management is going to be harder, no matter what else you do. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. As you get older, you might need a little less, but you still need quality sleep. If you're tossing and turning all night, if you're waking up multiple times, if you're not getting deep sleep, your blood sugar is suffering. And you might not even realize the connection. The last thing I want to mention in this section is something that might seem small, but it's actually really important: stress. Chronic stress raises your cortisol levels, and high cortisol makes your body more insulin resistant. It's another one of those invisible factors. You could be doing everything else right, but if you're living in a constant state of stress, your blood sugar is going to be harder to control. This is why some people see their blood sugar numbers improve just by making lifestyle changes that reduce stress. Meditation, spending time in nature, spending time with family, hobbies. These aren't just feel-good activities. They're actually part of managing your blood sugar. So to summarize what we've covered, you need to space your meals further apart. You need to make your meals more balanced with protein, fat, and carbs. You need to eat your carbs last. You need to move your body, especially after eating. You need to prioritize sleep. And you need to manage your stress. These aren't complicated things. They're not expensive. They don't require special equipment or special foods. But together, they address the root cause of your insulin resistance. They help your cells become more responsive to insulin again. And when that happens, your blood sugar improves. Let me bring this all together for you, because I want to make sure you're walking away from this video with a clear understanding of what matters most. The trap that most diabetics fall into is thinking that blood sugar management is just about controlling carbs. It's not. It's about understanding that your body's ability to use insulin efficiently is what really determines your blood sugar. And that ability can be restored. It doesn't matter how long you've been struggling with this. It doesn't matter how old you are. Your cells can become more responsive to insulin again. I want you to think about Robert, Patricia, David, and Margaret, the people I told you about. They all had something in common. They weren't doing anything extreme. They weren't on special diets. They weren't exercising for hours. They were just making small, practical changes based on understanding what was actually happening in their bodies. And their blood sugar improved. Some of them were able to reduce their medications. All of them felt better and had more energy. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The silent blood sugar trap isn't a death sentence. It's not even a permanent condition. It's a sign that your body needs something different. It's your body's way of telling you that the way you've been living isn't working anymore. And once you hear that message, you can do something about it. Start with one thing. Just one. Don't try to change everything at once. If you're eating 6 times a day, start by cutting it back to 5. If you're eating carbs by themselves, start by adding some protein or fat to one of your meals. If you're not moving after meals, start by taking a 10-minute walk after dinner. Pick one thing that feels manageable and do that for a week or 2. Then add another thing. This isn't a sprint. It's a gradual shift in how you're living. And here's something important. You might not see results immediately. Your blood sugar didn't get out of control overnight, and it won't normalize overnight either. But if you're consistent, you will see changes. Your fasting blood sugar will start coming down. Your energy will improve. You'll feel less hungry between meals. Your moods will be more stable. These changes happen gradually, but they do happen. I also want to say this. If you're on medication for your blood sugar, don't stop taking it just because you're making these lifestyle changes. Work with your doctor. Tell your doctor what you're doing. As your insulin resistance improves and your blood sugar comes down, your doctor might need to adjust your medication. But that's something to do with your doctor's guidance, not on your own. The reason I'm emphasizing this is because I've heard from people who got so excited about seeing their numbers improve that they stopped taking their medication without talking to their doctor. That's dangerous. Your medication is there to protect you right now, while you're working on improving your insulin resistance. As things improve, you might need less medication. But that's a conversation to have with your doctor. Now, I want to address something that I know some of you are thinking. This sounds good, but what about when I'm eating out? What about family dinners? What about holidays? Life happens. You're not going to be perfect, and you don't need to be. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. If you're doing these things 80% of the time, you're going to see results. If you slip up at a family dinner or have a treat on your birthday, that's fine. One meal doesn't undo weeks of good choices. What matters is the pattern. What matters is what you're doing most of the time. So be kind to yourself. Make these changes because they're going to help you feel better and live better, not because you're trying to be perfect. I also want to mention something about community and support. If you're struggling with this alone, it's harder. Whether it's talking to your doctor, joining a support group, or even just telling your family what you're working on, having people who understand and support you makes a huge difference. Don't try to do this in isolation. And here's something else. As you start making these changes and your blood sugar improves, you might notice other things improving too. Your energy might increase. Your mood might stabilize. You might sleep better. You might lose weight without even trying. These aren't accidents. They're all connected to better blood sugar control and less inflammation in your body. When you fix the root problem, a lot of other things improve along with it. Let me tell you about one more person. His name is Tom, and he's 68 years old from Pennsylvania. He'd been diabetic for about 10 years. He was on 3 different medications. His blood sugar was consistently in the 180s and 190s. He felt tired all the time. He had neuropathy, nerve pain in his feet. He was frustrated and discouraged. He watched a video similar to this one. He understood for the first time that his problem wasn't that he was a bad person or that he was failing. His problem was that his body had become insulin resistant, and that was something he could actually address. He made the changes we've talked about. He spaced his meals further apart. He balanced his meals better. He started taking walks after dinner. He worked on his sleep. Within 3 months, his blood sugar was in the 140s. Within 6 months, it was in the 120s. His doctor was able to reduce his medications. The nerve pain in his feet started improving. He had more energy. He felt hopeful for the first time in years. He told me, "I didn't think I could change this. I thought this was just my life now. But it turns out, I could change it. I just needed to understand what was actually happening." That's what I want for you. I want you to understand what's actually happening in your body. I want you to know that this trap you're in isn't your fault, and it's not permanent. Your body is incredibly capable of healing and adapting. You've survived 50, 60, 70 years on this planet. Your body is strong. It just needs you to give it what it needs. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one thing from this video. Just one. The spacing of your meals. The balance of your meals. A walk after dinner. Better sleep. Stress management. Pick one thing and commit to it for 2 weeks. Then notice what happens. Notice how you feel. Notice your blood sugar numbers if you're checking them. You might be surprised. And if you found this helpful, if this video answered questions you've had, please share it with someone else who's struggling with their blood sugar. There are so many people out there who feel confused and discouraged, just like you might have felt before watching this. They need to know what you now know, that the trap is real, but it's escapable, that their blood sugar struggles aren't their fault, and that they can actually do something about it. Your health matters. Your life matters. And you deserve to feel good, to have energy, and to know that you're doing the right things for your body. That's not too much to ask. That's what you deserve. And it's absolutely possible for you to get there.